Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have launched a full investigation into the left for what I'm about to tell you. This is bad, everybody. We now know from the FBI that there was people in the crowd that were in on the assassination attempt of Charlie KIRK. People in the crowd knew what was going to happen in advance. We have video evidence that there was actually, and this is, I'm telling you, this is crazy. There may have been multiple people that were going to take shots at Charlie KIRK. And you cannot deny this. I mean, this is so damning. We're hearing it from the FBI director, Dan Bongino. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But the video evidence is that now they know that there wasn't just one. Multiple people were there. They knew in advance what was going to happen. And it just shows you this was a fully planned out attack. And now Trump has launched a full investigation, big time, into online pro-trans communities. They're investigating everybody from the crowd.
Okay. I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I saw hit, I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck, down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off. Get off me! Get off me!
Running high right now.
What just happened? Are they trying to silence him? Are they trying not to let him speak what he saw? Is there information that maybe you think if it comes out, it might expose certain, you know, what really went down there? Why is he trying to prevent him from speaking? And I think these are some of these guys are agents imposing as organizers. Like, what just happened there, guys?
Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but look what I found earlier on Amazon. These were posted on Amazon on September 9th. That was day before yesterday. How does one publish a book on September 9th for something that happened on September 10th? Then Amazon changed it to this. But wait, if you scroll down, it still says this. Oh, but wait, they're not going to let this stay up. No, if you go search the book now, this is what you find. Something else is happening here. I don't know what it is, but definitely something's happening. What do you think?
Israel is committing genocide. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, you know, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. I was going to say, Ben, come on. You Jews own the media, Ben. So, I mean, come on. As you can tell by all the wonderful headlines you guys get. Look, I think you can have disagreements on Israel and still be MAGA, obviously. You should be America first. But if you're pro-Hamas, you're something darker. But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard-right government has a mandate. I got to be careful the way I say this. They're going to try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean, that's, and I don't use that term lightly, okay?
I think just from these two videos, you can see that, can you really maybe say that this guy could really be controlled? I know he could be controlled because there are people probably maybe donated to his organization or gave him funds, but like, you can't maybe really give him his talking points to say, okay, these are your talking points. And that's a problem. That's a problem. So if he, maybe the puppet masters, I don't know, for lack of better terms, maybe the puppet masters are going to be worried to say, like, we can't really control. So if we can't control what he says out there or what he's saying, or, you know, if he can also maybe talk against us, we can't have him. You understand what I'm trying to arrive at here? Like, if we entertain these conspiracy theories that maybe Candace Owens, which you'll see later on in the video, talking about, and how maybe him was worried about his life, given that maybe some people were worried that he was going against them. So maybe let's entertain that a little bit. But let's check out the text messages that has been released between the guy that's in custody and also talking to the boyfriend. I don't know if it's a girlfriend, the boyfriend.
They just revealed text messages between Tyler Robinson and his roommate moments after he took the life of Charlie KIRK. Robinson said, "I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." The roommate said, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson said, "I am. I'm sorry." The roommate said, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson said, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." The roommate said, "Why?" Robinson said, "Why did I do it?" The roommate said, "Yeah." Robinson said, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." The roommate said, "How long have you been planning this?" Robinson said, "A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I'd circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulges UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Alright, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really effing sucks." Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has it. The feds released a photo of the rifle and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm gonna turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You're all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
I think even ChatGPT could have done better than that. I'm just saying. Which 22-year-old types their message like that? Just hearing it before you even see it or you read it, just hearing it, you can see that that's so wrong. It's not text messages. That's not text messaging. That's some speech. I don't know, but like, it just sounds like some speech to me. It doesn't sound really like maybe somebody that's texting somebody, especially maybe if you're from doing the unthinkable. And then you're trying to stay hidden, not to be found about. Like, I don't think you can be typing that. I don't know what you think. Let me see in the comment section your thoughts on this. And now let's get to Candice Owens and our theory on this, or maybe your take on this. She's been quiet a little bit on, and now, I mean, she's here. You have.
In May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Charlie, from a month ago, speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under, because I think that will also help to further contextualize this.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as
unfair.
if
They were coming after you after a turning point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb, and he was under an increasing amount of pressure, not just people telling him, oh, well, you know, I'm upset with who you're inviting, but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen.
That's an object that was spotted and captured on a phone seconds after, you know, and that looks like a bird. Again, if you want to entertain it, it could be a drone. I don't know, but it could be a bird or something. Even a drone. But do you really think the guy they are saying that he's the shooter? Do you think he's the shooter? From the past, there's never a time when they say this guy is a shooter, and he actually turns out to be a shooter, especially when it comes to these political assassinations. It's never the shooter they say is a shooter. And we've come to realize that, and maybe to see that. After years and years, we've come to realize and see that the guy they say that took the shot is mostly not the guy that did it. And why should they start saying now that the guy that really did it is the one who did it? I'm just saying, is it possible if somebody else did it and not the guy they are saying? Is it possible that the guy that was on the roof there is just a posse? Is it possible that... I'm just saying here. Let's continue with Candace Owens.
My friend, he said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And, this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra-progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they tried to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Who is they, BB? Who is they who got Charlie Kirk? We don't have to actually speak conspiracies. I'm just wondering, because you said a lot there, but it really sounded like it was about BB trying to establish a narrative that we saw reinforced by a lot of people, that, Charlie kind of made it almost sound like he died for Israel. I mean, Trump's account even tweeted out a photo of Charlie and an American flag and also an Israeli flag, a bit of AI used, like this is just who Charlie was. He says Judeo-Christian values. He spoke to him 2 weeks ago. Again, you would think he was busy fighting this 97,000 front war, but no, he's letting you know that he just randomly, picks up the phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel? How would BB do that? It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe. The road to 10,000 subs. I'll see you in the next one.